Hey there gang, Patrick King here, coming to you live from somewhere just outside Goshen, Ohio. I'm teaching this weekend at Pearl Equestrian Center here in Goshen. I've got a question coming to us today from Barbara. This is a question that I would say comes up fairly commonly in clinics, as well as in a lot of the questions that we get submitted. The question is, how would you supple a very tight horse on the long side of the arena, I'm assuming. My horse has a right bend, so on the left rein, so a natural right bend. So on the left rein, he falls through the shoulder on the inside front leg, more like a motorcycle instead of a bend. I don't want to force him, but what exercises would be helpful? Of course, in hand, not only ridden. Would you work the stiff side more than the other side? And what would be your advice for the frequency? Daily for 10 to 20 minutes, work in hand to start with. That's a fantastic question. So I'm going to move this here off to the side. You guys can't see, but I've got this little window that pops up that lets me read the question. Anyway, how would we supple a horse on the long side? So what Barbara's talking about, her horse, she says, has a right bend. So her horse is naturally bent to the right, which would tell us that she's naturally balanced on the right hind leg and the left shoulder. That's actually pretty common. We've got a lot of horses that kind of learn to lean into that left shoulder because we generally tend to do so much from the left side. If you think about it, you're haltering on the left, you're bridling on the left, you're usually saddling on the left, you probably pick out the left front foot first. If your horse is going to lean, they're going to lean forward toward you with that left shoulder. So it's oftentimes a frequent challenge that our horse is in that kind of counter bend if we're on the left side, or they're in the true bend if we're on the right side. So that's something that we see fairly frequently. And she says as he's going on the left rein, tends to fall on that inside shoulder onto that left front leg, more like a motorcycle instead of like a true bend. So he's falling in rather than standing up and supporting himself. Again, really super common. So with this, actually, she's asking, would I work the stiff side more than the other side? I don't know that I'd work one side more than another, but I would certainly work the stiffer side first when I'm in hand and when I'm riding, and I'd come back to it frequently, but I don't know if I'd go more one side than another. So what I would actually be working with in this situation quite a bit is, as a basic exercise, is the shoulder in. I think that's going to be a fantastic exercise to help our horse with this. The shoulder in gives us control of the body position as well as the bend. So in this case, we're looking at shoulder in going to the left, keeping our horse tracking around the arena. That's going to be engaging more that left hind leg. If we think about how a horse balances when they're on a bend, what Barbara's talking about right here is that the horse has more of a natural right bend. The horse is leaning into the left shoulder in this case, and the horse always balances on a diagonal. Okay, so if the horse is leaning into the left shoulder, the horse is balancing and driving then with the right hind leg. Imagine you're leading a horse and they're looking away from you on the lead, and they're pulling away from you and getting strong. That's the bend that we're talking about in this situation. I'm not saying that's what happens when Barbara leads her horse. I just want you to get that idea, that picture in your mind of that bend and how that horse can drive away from us in that situation. So that's the bend that we're talking about having right here. Horse is leaning to the left shoulder, driving with the right hind leg. In this situation, of course, then the horse works better and easier to the right as she's riding around the arena. How would we help this? We'd work to, obviously, to switch that bend, and the shoulder in is a fantastic exercise to reintroduce the horse, in this case, to the proper bend and to gain control in that bend, helping the horse then to balance on, in this case, if we're tracking to the left, balancing on the left hind leg and the right shoulder, because again, remember, the horse balances on the diagonal. So in the shoulder in to the left, the horse is driving and balancing with the left hind and the right shoulder. So Barbara, that's going to be my answer. How am I going to help your horse with this motorcycling of falling in? We're going to work a lot on on shoulder in. We're going to work a lot on leg yields also, but we're going to work primarily on focusing on that shoulder in to help your horse to gain confidence in that bend, gain strength in that bend, and probably more important at this point gain organization and balance in that bend. That's going to be really important. We're going to do that in hand as well as under saddle. In hand, it might be easier than under saddle, but we want to keep in mind that the in hand is going to build to the under saddle work. So that's something that we want to think about. You asked Barbara about would I work more frequently on the stiff side, or more, how I would do that and what my advice for that would be. I would say work until you feel some balance left to right come through. Maybe that would be more times or more length of time on one side over another, or maybe it wouldn't. So I won't necessarily say longer to one side than another, but I do tend to always do the worst first is what I want to think about. I go to the challenging side first, and then I'll build into that side that the horse is more confident. It's a common thing that people think that we want to work the easier side first to build the horse's confidence. But if you think about what happens right there, you're putting your horse in a situation that's really easy, and then you're saying, just kidding, here comes the side that's really hard. And that can kind of cause your horse to feel a little bit defeated in that situation. So what I want to think about doing is working, again, the worst first, right? Working the side that's more challenging, and then as the horse builds confidence, organization, coordination, when that starts to feel good, then I'll change to the side that's easy. That's actually going to build your horse's confidence. Behavioral psychology has proven this to us. If we work the worst first, we improve from there, and we build our horse's confidence from there. Biggest thing, though, that I want to keep in mind, slow and steady. As we're always preaching in our clinics, the 4 main keys to this kind of work to helping our horse to rebalance: slower, softer, wait, breathe. It's not about going fast. It's not about intensity of work. It's about maybe intensity of focus, but not intensity of hard work. We're talking about suppling our horse. We're talking about lengthening the body. We're talking about reorganizing the balancing legs. That needs to be done slowly. So, Barbara, I hope that this is helpful for you. I hope this has been helpful for anybody else who's watching. If you have a horse that has had this challenge, please let us know. Let me know that in the comments section below. If you found this video valuable, please give us a like, a thumbs up, of whatever you do, whatever is available through this video here. If you have a friend who maybe needs to hear this advice, or you think could be helped by this advice, please feel free to tag them in the comments section below, or share this video directly with them. Let's go with the question of the day. I'm trying to get back into these with these videos. Question of the day, what side does your horse tend to be more balanced to the left or to the right? What side does your horse seem to be stronger to, or more supple to the left or to the right? Let me know that in the comments section below this video here. And again, thank you guys all so much for tuning in. You keep asking questions, and I'll keep talking about horses. Thanks so much. Till next time.